So hi Sahil, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here and representing the University of Westminster today.
Thank you, Devyani, for giving this opportunity, and I'm really excited to see how this goes.
Okay, so let's do this. So before we get into what your course looks like at Westminster, let us talk a bit about your background first. So can I please ask you to introduce your name, which course are you studying, and again at which university?
Yeah, so I'm Sahil Mithailwala, and I'm studying MSc in Marketing Communications at University of Westminster. And I came here in September 2021. Yeah,
September 20.
that's my date. Correct. Yeah.
And like, where are you from? Like, what did you do your undergraduation in? From which university?
So my undergraduation was a really plain degree, as you say back in India. It was BCom, and I did it from Jain College.
Oh, you're
It
from
was
Jaipur as
quite
well.
yeah, I'm from Jain as well. So I graduated in 2019,
Mhm.
and then yeah, and then I just sort of worked somewhere, and then the pandemic hit, so it was just a little bit phase of what's going on. But yeah, I was working at a company, so that kind of helped me get through there. And
Right.
then now the masters.
So, like, did you have like a subject called marketing in BCom? Like, how did you discover your passion for marketing?
I did have a subject. I had a really good teacher also. It was not called marketing, it was called more of advertising.
Okay.
So I think that's what got me into this field about, advertising and how you can, show your creative side also to it. A
Mhm.
lot of people think it's just, just getting the ads out, but there's a lot of background that goes into it. So I think that's where my initial interest, developed, and then I'm like, now you're trying to get into this field.
So, would you say like you developed your interest in marketing through your course or more like through internships and all of that?
I think it was a mix of that. It was because, to be very honest, in my undergrad I didn't really pay a lot of attention. So it was just like, subjects I liked and then the interests that were there. So
Mhm.
that's how it built up there. But I think main, would be me working and me interning. That's where I got most of my knowledge and passion, do something in this field.
Right.
Yeah, but the initial phases would be my undergrad. I just
So,
had a really nice teacher, I think.
yeah, Jahind is
She was
pretty
really
good.
sweet. Yeah, and then we had a Jain ad fest anyways.
Oh, yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that's where also I learned a lot about sales and marketing, not
Okay.
just advertising.
So, before you got here, before you started a course, how many marketing related internships or work experience do you have?
So I think I've had almost more than like most I think all of them were internships.
Mhm.
So it was around 2.5 years in total. I
Okay.
would say I had worked at 4 different places
Okay.
before coming for my master's. Yeah.
And out of all the universities, why did you choose University of Westminster? Like, what motivated you to get here?
I actually I was really confused between a few universities, but then I saw Westminster's course. I saw the subjects that they had, and especially the whole data analytics part, which was always interesting to me. So I think that's what made me choose the university. And I had someone who already was here, had spoken to them, and they really liked the university. So I actually was going to Nottingham Trent University before,
Right. Mm-hmm.
but then I worked for a year and then I came to Westminster. I think
So, what about the data analytics part? Like, how is that a part of your
so.
course?
Right now, what I'm learning is learning data with SPSS and Qualtrics, and but then that's not exactly what I thought I would learn. I
Okay.
thought I would learn more of an analytical part, like tracking stuff like Google Analytics or something. But as I'm speaking to you, I still have 3 weeks left of my course, and I'm going to learn programmatic buying and everything related to that. But it
Right.
has been quite nice. I think it was a good decision for me to take the course because of that. It helps a lot, at least going ahead, employability wise also.
Right. So, let us talk about your course like more in detail. Like, how is your year divided? Like, how many semesters do you have?
So, so it's first thing. I mean, I don't want to be rude, but it's not a year. Like when people say masters is a year, it's more like 8 months, and then the next
Mm-hmm.
4 months are just working on your dissertation.
Right.
But then we've had 2 semesters now, and I'm already on my second semester. It's ending in 3 weeks. That's
Okay.
it was
And
quite short. Yeah.
so you're almost done with the second semester, just like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many subjects or modules do you have in each semester?
So I think it's around 4 subjects each semester.
And a name for
And yeah, and the first semester, I think we had brand strategy, consumer psychology, we had advertising management, and we had our dissertation subject. It's
right.
called integrated marketing communication. So that's our module that will help us for our dissertation.
Right. Okay.
So I think these 4 that we had, and
Mhm.
then now this for this semester we have quite a few. We have public relations, we have promotional marketing, we have data analytics, and we have like marketing innovations, like digital marketing innovation. So
So
it's
from
quite
your first
interesting.
semester, you were introduced to the dissertation and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, in the first semester, I had to submit a proposal also.
Don't say, oh my God.
Yeah, a 3,000 word proposal.
That's
And I
pretty.
see other people doing it like now.
Yeah,
And then
same. I'm working on a proposal right now.
exactly. And I'm just like, wait, why did I submit it in mid-December? But I think it kind of helps. It does help because you have a better idea coming into this semester what you need to do, and
Mhm.
you think of it in a different way. At least in the first semester, I was focused on my dissertation report, and I didn't really incorporate, what I learned from the other subjects. But then going into this semester, the teachers talk about it, like because I have a base, I have my proposal as a base to understand.
Mhm.
I think that's why it kind of did help doing it in December.
Right. But like when you got here, like, did you have any clarity about what a dissertation topic is going to be like before?
No,
No, right?
I mean, the whole system is so different. At least what I did back in India was never writing reports or
Correct.
dissertations. So it was also new to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I kind of, have got there that I know how to do it now. The,
Mm-hmm.
the university actually offers courses for this. A lot of people who are not so, aware of English and they're not so good in it, to writing and reading. So they have a course. It's a free course that you can take a module. So that kind of does help too.
Okay. And can you just tell me how your lectures look like? Like, do you have lectures every day? How long they are and things like that?
So in the first semester, I didn't have it every day. It was a mix of online and offline.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had like campus lectures twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
But this semester, I have all 5 days.
All 5 days, everything
All
offline.
5 days. Yeah, I mean that's just my group. We
Uh-huh.
have like 3 groups in our course. So the other 2 groups have like 3 days a week. But
Oh,
I'm the
unfortunately.
5 days a week. Yeah.
Okay. So, when like, how is the teaching like? Like, it's like teacher comes and like just shows a presentation, or is it more interactive, or is it more case study based? How?
It's more interactive.
Mhm.
I would say we have for each class we have 2 classes. So one is a lecture, which is like a 1 hour lecture, which is everybody in the course, like around 65 people.
Okay.
The second one is a seminar. So in the seminar, you're again split up into 3 groups,
Mhm.
and that's where it's more like 25 people groups. So it's more, you can give more attention to it, or the teachers can give more attention, but it helps. Like they come up with presentations, but also at the same time, they have a lot of case studies and
Okay.
interactive seminars. So
So
that's
the
nice.
so s- the case studies are all in the seminar, you mean?
Yeah, they're also in the lectures, like they give you kind of reading material, but then in-depth analysis and kind of working as a brand, you get to do that in the seminars. And
Okay,
then
interesting. Okay.
obviously after it's more interactive, then they help you with it.
Right. And how are your projects and assignments? Like, do you have any live consultancy projects, or how do you go about that?
I don't have a live consultancy project yet, but for
Mhm.
my residence week, we be going, I think, not quite sure, but I think to Cambridge, and that's where we work with a brand.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the live thing. But other than that, we have just general semester 2 at least, we have more of group work.
Okay.
There are divided into groups, and that's how you do it. But otherwise, semester 1 was also quite individual. We
Mm-hmm.
had we had one group assignment. That's
Right. So, like, let's take for example, if somebody you have public relations, right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that, like, how many, like, do you have one individual or one group assignment, or do you have?
Yeah, so we do have, so we had an individual assignment which I already submitted.
Mhm.
So that's like 60% of your grade.
Right.
And then the next 40% is like a group project.
It's group
So
project.
it kind of gets you working with people and alone also. So
Okay.
it's nice. You get to learn a lot.
And how about exams? Did you have exams this year?
Uh, Actually, fun fact that we don't have exams. University of Westminster doesn't have exams for masters, but this semester we do have one exam.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I wouldn't say it's an exam, it's on the spot, like coming up with a plan, like a
Oh,
750 word. So yeah, but it's quite fun. You don't need to like, I mean, exams back in India are quite different.
mm-hmm.
It's more of mugging up and then
Right.
writing down the exact answer, but
Mhm.
that's not what this is. This is more like you create your idea and do.
Right. And how would you say are your presentation? Are they like more theoretical or more practical?
I think it's more of a mix in both because you need to take the theory and use it in a practical way. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what gets you, the understanding and the marks.
Right, right.
Because
So,
if you just write the practical part, they will be like, it needs to be supported by
right. So
their
you need to go
academic
through a lot of
research.
journal articles and
Yeah, a lot of academic articles, journal articles, references that have come
and
here.
how do you prepare for your lectures? Like, do you like read anything before class, or is it like after a presentation you go and like read about it? How does that work?
Uh, they do give us reading material. Some of the lectures have reading material where you need to go through it, and at least for example, PR, just since you've
Right.
spoken about it, we did have a little bit, reading like the professor used to give us a book and then tell us to read chapter one, and then we used to have a discussion about it in class,
Mm-hmm.
understand that what is the learnings that we have. So it was fun. I
So
think
would
that
you
was one of the first few times I've read a PR book.
how hectic is it though? Like, do you think you can like?
It's it's not hectic. Like I wouldn't say it's hectic,
Mm-hmm.
but it does have a toll on you, especially if you've not really been in a new country and been by yourself. It's the first time. Yeah, it'll take you a few months to say I would say a month or two to get used to like the life living alone and
Right, right.
balancing your work or your assignments and everything. But I think it's very
Right.
doable. It
And
is, yeah.
how many students do you have in your class?
We have around 70 students
Oh.
in our class. It's not quite a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
when you see them all together, there is a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's about who we have.
So I saw that like on the Westminster page, there are multiple like marketing courses. I think there is marketing and management.
Management, correct.
So like out of all these, what made you choose the course you did?
So I like the whole communication aspect where you deal more in management. This is what I'm assuming. I'm not quite sure, but you deal more of the back end stuff, and then when you go with the communication is more like what kind of communication are you doing to reach the consumer? How can you influence their decision over there? So
Right.
that's something. It also has a lot of psychology in it, like as module about it. So I think that's what interested me more
Mm-hmm.
to, because again, it's linking back to the whole advertising part, the way in advertising you kind of do can communicate with the consumer. So you
Right.
have more communication there. That's why
Right.
I think it.
And like, do you still like, do you interact or do you have lectures with any people from other courses, like from marketing and management, or it's some completely
Um,
different?
no, so there are a few like in our digital marketing module,
Mhm.
there are it's a mix of two courses.
Right.
But that's about the only
Otherwise,
module.
not.
Then we have like extra classes, like curriculum classes, where they teach us, like this semester they've started it,
Mhm.
where they teach you about referencing or CV building, or like we had Jez Frampton come in for a lecture. So that
Mhm.
was very nice.
Oh, that's interesting. And out of the 70 people in your class, how many Indians do you have?
That's the main question. I think we're around 16 or 17 of Indians.
And otherwise,
Yeah.
from
Otherwise, like, I mean, the other people are more European or Asian. We have
Mhm.
a lot of Asians too.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's about it. Indian and Asians are here. the majority, and then you see everyone around the world. So quite diverse
Yeah, quite
student.
diverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like how are students? Like, do they really interact in class? Everybody's super active or more like passive listeners?
So there are quite super active students, and I mean, if someone's gonna see this from my course, but they know that I'm kind of one of them who is super active and talking to everyone all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good because a lot of people are approachable, and they're very nice. Like I would say that that's one thing about the university, not just in my course, like
Mm-hmm.
people from outside my course, they're quite approachable.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. See, that's why I
Yeah.
reached out to you. And you're doing this like definitely reassures that you are more like a very social person who likes to answer.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm. So like whatever you learned at your internships, do you think like,
Yeah.
you have really after coming and doing this course in terms of marketing, it has really added or it's pretty much the same for you?
Uh, it has added, I
Mhm.
would say it has added. One of my, the latest internship that I was working at was by dance,
Mhm.
and I was working with TikTok and Hello for almost a year, and I think I learned most of my knowledge, like in field practical knowledge from there, and I
Mhm.
could bring that into my course here. And I had a module which was exactly like what I did for a year, and it was just so easy for me to do it compared to seeing people a little struggle, because I understand like learning something I learned in 1 year and then a
Mhm.
month, it is a little difficult, but I think that it does give you kind of an upper hand
Right.
to understand.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think
So like
internships do.
most of your classmates, have they worked before or are they completely new to marketing?
So it's kind of a mix, because you have people who have worked for you some years and then come into the course. You have people who just come in after their graduation. Yeah, undergrad, you have people who, maybe done some internships like me, or maybe worked for a year and then come. So yeah, it's a lot of different backgrounds that you can see.
Right. And for someone who has never studied marketing before or don't know the terms, how easy do you think is like does the university like really teach you from scratch or is already like level two?
So I wouldn't say, I mean, marketing general knowledge, I think everyone has
Mm-hmm.
how it works and everything, and at least the university with the course that they have. I would be the wrong person to give advice, but if I had to, like, I think you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible. The stuff, the way they teach you, and the resources that they have available,
Mm-hmm.
it is very possible to do it. But I would always suggest you, like, I mean, whoever's coming, at least intern somewhere, to understand in whatever field you can, like if it's a 3 month, 4 month, just do something and come.
So you recommend like more than just freshers, like do at least one internship in marketing and
Yeah, at least do some internship or try, reading up the modules that you have. So you yourself have a jump start. It's not like the university won't give it to you,
right.
but you are more familiar with it before you come.
Right. And if I had to ask you like what you specifically should have learned or studied before coming to university, what would that be?
I think learning how to write reports
Yeah.
and referencing it, I think that's one of the biggest challenges I've had,
Mm-hmm.
because I understand the concept, I understand everything how to do it, but when it comes to writing the report, it's just a lot of things that go into it that you don't realize
Right.
right now. But once you do it, when you're actually doing it, it helps. I think it would help if
Mm.
I had the skill or understood how to do it. But
Right.
now I have, but it just saves up on a month and a half or something.
Right. And what would you say is your favorite thing about your university?
The favorite thing, I think, I'm going to sound very not interesting when I say this, but I think the library, and
Oh my
not
God.
because of the books or the collections that they have, more of because I have literally spent most of my time in the library trying to do my assignments, have group meetings, and it's something that I find most interesting about the university, because it's a really huge library.
Mm-hmm.
And I
And what,
know like people from different campuses come into my campus to just
oh,
see the
different
library.
campuses. Like, do you have different? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, so I think we have 4 campuses.
Okay.
One is in Harrow on the Hill, which
Mhm.
is I think the biggest one that they have. One is in Regent Street, which is the oldest campus.
Okay.
And one is at Cavendish, and then there's my campus on Baker Street,
Oh,
Manaport
interesting.
campus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so
It's divided with sectors like marketing and business is the one that I am going to.
mhm.
Regent Street is, I think, film and related to that, and Cavendish is computer softwares or something, and
Oh,
then Harrow, I think, is again business media kind of a mix.
right. So do you like travel to other campuses or is mostly at yours?
So be honest, I've not gone to the Harrow campus yet,
Mhm.
but Baker Street and Regents is like a 12-minute walk. So I've walked there. We have like karaoke nights.
Oh,
So
that's
we've
fun.
gone to quite a few of those.
I'm gonna
And
ask you about the clubs and everything soon.
yeah, they have nice clubs also there. Like,
Uh-huh.
but
Are you
I
part of any
personally
society?
am not part of
Uh,
anything right now.
uh-huh.
I tried going for the Indian Society,
Mhm.
but I think I just um,
It's like mostly
lost.
filled with undergrads, no?
Yeah, it's most of undergrads, and then I just did not have enough time to
Right.
do the club. Yeah, but I go for some of the events. It's quite nice.
And what do you do not like about university? One thing.
What I do not like. Okay, that's a really good question because I am not sure about the answer yet.
So you're not
But
sure.
I'll
Like,
I'll get back to it. Let me think it through, and maybe in the end I have an answer.
okay, very diplomatic, smart.
And in the end, I'm just gonna like ignore it.
Yeah. Mm.
No, no,
So,
I'll get back to it. I will.
how is your university helping you build your career? Like, do you have, like you mentioned, you have like referencing workshops, and like, but other than that, how?
I do. Like, I mean, other than the workshops, we have a career counseling team that you can, talk to, set up an appointment, get a better understanding, like show your CV or get some feedback as to what you could do and what you should do. So I
Right.
think that's again, free service for any student that's there in the university. So
And
I
like, do
think
they
that's really
provide you
nice.
with internships or placements or some contracts? Like,
Um, not that I know of, but
mm-hmm.
they do have a postgraduate course, like an internship program, where it's a 3-month program, and then in the end of it, you have to write another assignment. But I think for that, I'm not quite sure if they give you a placement or you have to get a placement and register it. But
Oh,
it's another course with a module that you could take.
so you did not take this module.
I still have a choice. I'm still thinking about it because since it's just April right now, I can apply for it before 20th April.
Oh, so when is
So
your
I'm
last
still,
date? Like after 3 weeks? After,
so I think not even 3 weeks, now 2 weeks. My last class is on 14th April, but
mm-hmm.
then my last submission is on 2nd of May.
Right.
But
So you still have
yeah,
time to choose a new module now.
yeah. So it's more like a additional internship module. So it happens itself in June, July, and August. So
Okay.
because my dissertation, I have nothing to do after between May and September.
Right.
It's mostly I'm going to be working on my dissertation and working on the side.
Right. Makes sense. And how strict would you say are your classes? Like, can you miss it? Like, do you go at
I
yeah, attendance?
I'm not sure if you can miss it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm the kind of person who does not like missing classes,
Yeah.
and I need to go for everything. But this semester, being honest, I kind of have missed some classes, but still, I think as a university, there's nothing that you have to go. But again, the lecturers and the professors will, keep track of your being there. Are you there or are you not there?
Right.
So
Right.
that's the, I would suggest at least have an attendance over 75 or 80%.
Right. Makes sense. And after
That will help.
because you're investing so much, you should like.
Yeah, I mean, my only thing is like every time I don't go for like a class, it's
Mm-hmm.
been like I think I've missed 5 classes in total in this whole year, and I
Mm-hmm.
just feel so guilty. I'm just like I'm paying for this, and I think I'm more than guilty. I just feel bad. Like it's getting over. Like the semester's getting over, and then that's it. The master's is done. You
Yeah.
don't come for classes, so
I
it
had my
kind of
last
hits
lecture
in.
yesterday, and it feels really overwhelming, honestly. Yeah.
It
So
feels, yeah, it does because you're just like you've come here for masters, and then it's just over already.
done. Oh
I
my.
think one thing I would suggest is that enjoy whatever time you have in college.
So talking about enjoyment, like how is your social life at university? Um,
Uh, like I said before, we've gone for quite a few karaoke nights, and university in general has a lot of events that are happening, and the societies have. But like for the Indian society had like a holy party or Diwali parties that they keep having, and
right,
you go for that. But other than that, the university, like the karaoke that I was saying, and then they have a lot of games and fairs that keep happening, for undergrads also. But you can always go and join that. So
right.
it is a social university.
Mm-hmm. And talking about accommodation, do you stay like at university accommodation or like which
No, so I actually stay in a student accommodation, which is not the university accommodation.
or something different?
But
I,
yeah, university accommodations were good, but again, the amenities are a little bit limited.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a trade-off. You either live above the university or a little bit further and have something more.
Right.
I
And
think
sorry, yeah.
yeah, I was just saying for master students, I think it's better to stay off campus.
Right.
You
Definitely.
get to like get to
Mhm.
know more people, yeah.
So what would you say is like one thing you expected from university from your course and but it's different in reality?
Uh, it is, I think, um, the data analytics module.
Mm-hmm.
I expected it to be a little much more intense, but maybe I think the next two weeks I get that intensity and understand. Okay, this is why I took it. But for now, I think it is quite helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But I assume something a little bit much more different.
So did
Maybe
you know
that's
anything about SPSS before you got here?
no.
No.
I did not know about SPSS, but I have learned quite a bit about SPSS. Well understood about that topic, and I think it's because of the teachers that I have. We have two professors, and I think they're doing a brilliant job. At least making us understand from scratch in 2 months is, yeah, I would say that's really good because of the amount of people we have. I
Mm-hmm.
think nobody having a background in SPSS.
Right. Okay, interesting. Okay. And if I had to ask you, like, if you had to market your university to upcoming students, why would you say what's the unique selling point of Westminster, and why should people go there?
Like I said, the library and the four campuses that we have
Mm-hmm.
and the amazing locations that we have, guys. You should come.
Right. Sold for the
Yeah,
library.
so I mean, yeah, also the courses and
Of course.
the professors, they're quite approachable. I think it's a good fit for some people.
Right. And let us talk a bit about your finances now. Like being in London, how expensive is it to survive in the city?
London is expensive in general. I think
Mm-hmm.
to survive, you need to have like a pre-planned thing and cook home meals.
Right.
I think that you can save out a lot over there.
What would you say is
And
the
if
average monthly expense?
including a rent or like in
Like
general,
anyway, like with or without.
including your, I mean, without the rent, I think 700-800 pounds. You just end up spending. You can't. I mean, whoever says that they don't spend more than 500, that's a lie.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
And your stay can be anywhere between 700 to I think I know a few people, but I would just say like an average,
Mm-hmm.
say 1,000 to 700 pounds.
Correct.
That's about what it is. But again, if you work and a lot of part-time jobs, and I mean not just jobs, you can find some kind of way to make money on the, you know, you have a good decent amount of finance card there.
So are
So
you
you
doing a
can
part-time job anywhere?
not right now. I was actually doing a kind of a part-time job somewhere, but then now I'm looking for a part-time job and more of in the corporate world,
Right.
no, not like retail or something like that.
Mhm. I
Because
think
right now I
getting
think
jobs in
it's
corporate is
time.
much more hard right now, right? Apart.
Yeah, and people just don't want to, get in and hire whoever says that. Hiring is a little difficult, but just get onto it from the start. I think
Right.
one thing that I did wrong is maybe not get onto it from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And but then you can.
That you
You
can.
should.
So the part-time job you were doing before, how did you get that one?
So it was more like a part-time hustle on the side where you like kind of buy and sell shoes and sneakers. It's
Oh,
more of reselling, yeah. Because I've been into that since India, and then I just have a love for sneakers. So
yeah. But this kind of self hustle and like freelance
yeah,
kind of thing is not like, how did you manage that through the laws?
it's kind of yeah, it's kind of not really into my field
Hmm.
of work, but yeah, I mean, I had understanding of it before and the whole industry and everything. So it does give you a better, perspective on that.
Right. And if you
But I
do
would
work,
suggest guys, whoever is coming, just get a part-time job.
yeah.
That's what I've realized
But
now.
do you think it's easy to manage like a full part-time job and studying and getting good grades and everything?
Uh, so I won't say from my personal experience, but I've seen quite a few friends do it,
Mm-hmm.
and it is you can do it. You can do it, but only thing I think most of the people don't realize is that you've come here for studying,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't give up that on for a part-time job or whatever it pays you.
Right.
Like that's my perspective onto it. Like if you're gonna come here and do it, that your first priority should be college.
And do you think you
And
have, sorry.
if that's done, then it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you have like a competitive advantage being in London?
Uh, to whom? Like
Like in general, like in terms of
above.
jobs, about anything, about opportunities or whatever experience you have come across, like any events, like.
If you compare to someone who's done their masters in India, it's a little different approach because
Mhm.
what I learned here is more specific to the UK market or the general, world market, and then in India it's more specific to the Indian market. That's
Right,
anywhere you go.
right.
But any advantage over people, I wouldn't say that there. I wouldn't want to say that
Mm-hmm.
because over here I have enough competition there. So
Right.
it's just a different league as such.
No, I was saying compared to like someone studying maybe in Nottingham or in Leeds or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say advantage, but when it comes to finding jobs, it's easier to find it in London. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason why I kind of didn't go to Nottingham and came to London because in my mind it was just like the pandemic just got over and jobs are just starting to open up. And compared to, Nottingham, London is quite a big city. So you have more job opportunities.
Right. Oh, another follow-up question to a question I asked before. In terms of your
Yeah.
course, because is your course like more marketing in London based or UK based, or like do you also have a lot of international examples? Because like you come from India,
So
Asia, like how does that work?
yeah, it's a mix of both for sure, but it's more focused on the UK industry. Like any assignments that we have,
So,
we kind of have to choose the UK based brands. It's only because of the information that we can get from them, which
mm-hmm.
is easier to get a UK based information than US or India. And
Mm-hmm.
it's also more relevant for the teachers to correct and understand that you understood the topic.
Okay.
I think it's just if you can do it for one, if you know the process of it, I think you can do it in any country that you have.
Okay.
Just understanding the market is important.
So you have never done like assignments on the Indian market, mostly on the UK itself right now.
No, yeah, it's I think 90%, 95% is on the UK
Okay.
market.
Okay. And have you started applying for full-time jobs yet?
I have I have started applying through, I mean, a lot of LinkedIn jobs and
Mm-hmm.
then the company websites directly. I think
Right.
just starting to, I've already got a few rejections, but I think it's because
Part
I
of
applied very early. I
it.
applied for people who are graduating in January, and I applied thinking I could apply there.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think the right time would be April, May to start applying
Even
for
I
a
think
full-time
so.
job.
Right now, everybody wants like immediate joining, and that's not possible for us.
Yeah, I mean, you would rather like have generally like an internship or part-time thing where you work with them till September or whenever our
Mhm.
visa is, and then you switch to the full-time job.
Right. So after you graduate, like what kind of jobs are you looking for? Like in which field? Like mostly in analytics?
Uh, Not analytics. Actually, I want to look at something in agency part, but obviously having analytics, I would never say no to
Mhm.
that. It's interesting also, but I
Right.
want to work more of in the creative development part,
Okay.
advertising, or more of a media planning.
Oh, media. Oh, full data. Okay, good. Okay. And would you say, like, in concluding, like, do you think sorry, wait, your expectations
Yeah.
have met your reality in like all senses?
Uh, I kind of it kind of has,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, there are always some parts where you couldn't expect and that happened, so it kind of balances it out. But yeah, I think it did. It might have just exceeded what
Right.
I expected also. Yeah,
So to
just the
get
whole feeling of being here and doing
right,
things.
right, right. So to get into Westminster, what was your key? Like, what do you think? What you did differently while applying that you got in?
I honestly think it was my work experience when I worked for that 1 year and understanding, what kind of stuff I learned and the things that I did, and that I think did help for my application to be pushed ahead. So that's why I say like try and work if you can. Any kind of experience helps to
Mm-hmm.
understand that you've done it. So I would suggest that because
Mm-hmm.
if before I worked, I didn't really, I didn't get into the university. But
Right.
after my work experience, I did have that push, and they did because also they also want people here who understand the course and the
Yeah.
better fit. So that's why.
And for like upcoming student, not specifically in your course or in terms of
Yeah.
Westminster, but what is like the best advice you would give to students while applying to come to UK?
While applying to come to UK, I would say that understand your course. I think that's very important as to what, just don't see the main heading, see what subjects you have. Kind of, if you can kind of see students who've already gone to the university before, ask them for some feedback and how the course is. And
Right.
then, you're better prepared when you come here.
Mm-hmm.
That just helps you prepare better.
Okay.
And just don't copy assignments
Oh
from
yeah,
the
the
course.
plagiarism.
Don't ask them like, oh, I think I've seen you go to university. Can you please send me assignments? That's the worst thing to do.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Anyone who's trying to approach you, just gonna shut you off and they won't care.
Right. So just do your own thing and
Do
just
your own thing, avoid plagiarism. That's the most important thing I've learned.
I think these are the questions from me. Is there anything else you want to share or something I might have missed?
Yeah, I think I want to come back to the point where one thing I do not like
Oh
about uni.
wow. Yeah, yeah, tell me, tell me.
Yeah, I think it's not the biggest thing, but I think if we had a bigger campus or a little bit more, because right now I know the Harrow campus is quite big, but then some people are going to kill me for this, whoever are in the Harrow campus, but it's not quite convenient to go all the way that far.
Correct.
So something in the center and more approachable would be fun. I
I
think
think that
that's
is a
something
big
that,
advantage of being in London. Like there is no proper campus.
yeah, there is no proper, like my campus is two buildings. I'm very happy with it. I love my campus, but it would just be nice to have like a park garden in there, like the Harrow campus has. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that's one thing that, and the cafeteria, it's not quite interesting for
Mm-hmm.
at least because I have a very wide range of taste buds being an
Mm-hmm.
Indian. So sometimes the food can get a little bit too bland.
Right. So other than that, like just the campus part, other than that, you're very happy.
Just the campus. Like, I wouldn't say anything about because the teaching stuff is really good and
Mhm.
everything is like there's nothing there for me to complain about.
Mhm. Just if you
If
have
there is, then yeah. Hopefully there should not ever be anything in the future also to complain about, but that's nice.
right. And a final question, like what are you doing a dissertation on? What's your topic again?
So my brand for dissertation is Bohu.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Yeah, so a lot of I didn't know about this brand before coming here,
Mhm.
but that's my dissertation topic, and I'm to write 15,000 word report on that, and
Oh,
that's going to be basically every module of mine combined in one.
so I'm confused. Like the dissertation you have is quite different than what we
So
have.
yeah, the dissertation that I have, it's not really called a dissertation, but to make people, it's like it's a 15,000 word report, but it's about one brand. So I have to pitch them a marketing communication plan.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that includes like every single module that I have learned, saying brand strategy, advertising, consumer psychology, public relations, promotional, and data analytics. So it's all in one. So that's why I think that's one thing about the course that I really enjoy. I'm looking forward to,
Mhm.
because it's going to be a lot of work doing it all again for one brand,
And very
but
practical.
it's going to be fun. Yeah, it's very practical. Also, you end the course on a high note, and
Mhm.
that's something that I'm looking forward to, I
And did you
guess.
choose your own brand or how did they assign it?
Yeah, I chose my own brand. I did choose.
Oh, that's interesting. So Boohoo
I
Men or
chose
like the overall
no,
brand.
in general.
Wow, that's pretty
Hmm.
interesting. Because it's, I
Yeah,
mean, I feel that's a very big selling point because for us, like writing a proper research paper, coming up with like,
yeah.
I'm not up for it. I don't like it at all. So I think I'm really.
I know I've heard so much about dissertation is so bad. And I'm just like, yeah, I keep forgetting that it's not called dissertation for me, but it's
Mhm.
just a report.
Right.
But it's an easier way to make me feel say, oh yeah, I have it due in
Right.
September or something. But
So
it's
is
quite
the
interesting.
brand going to look at your assignment or it's just like for the university?
I mean, my plan is to email them the
Right.
report, but I don't, not nothing from the university that they will send it to them. It's more like me emailing it to them themselves if I need to.
Okay. So thank you so much, Sahil. It was really, really insightful. I personally learned a lot
Thank you
about
for having me.
Westminster. And
I'm glad.
like,
I mean, that's the idea,
yeah,
to
because like
help
you
people
really gave a
know.
nice insight about what the course is like. And I'm sure like all the
Yeah.
people who are watching this, it's gonna like have like a very clear idea.
Yeah, I hope more people watch this and come to Westminster.
So like if anybody has any questions, can they reach out to you on on
Yeah,
LinkedIn?
sure.
Or-
Anyone has any questions, you can reach out to me, LinkedIn. This is
Right. So I'm gonna add the link in the description box below.
done.
And thank you so much for being here and sharing your
Thank
experience.
you so much for having giving me this opportunity. It was really fun. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.